Beautiful. Sean, Taylor, I miss you guys. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. I feel like we've done two in a row without you. I can't,
Yeah, I
maybe.
know. You guys cheating on us?
Thought it was more. I kind of forgot about you, Dylan. To be honest, I forgot you were even on these. When I saw your name come up, I
I
was like,
just
oh
figured you,
yeah, that's
yeah,
how
I
it
figured
started
you just quit your job and you weren't at heat map anymore. I don't know.
back
No.
in Nashville.
Yeah, you caught me. I quit. I gave my boss notice. Awesome. How's the chat? Are we rolling, guys? Is that open? Last time we had a little
There we go.
beautiful. Everyone, give me where you're calling from. Nate, how are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing all right, man. Getting over a little flu, but
Ooh.
econ performance is great to start the year, so can't complain.
ROAS improves any COVID, flu, or disease or sickness.
Yeah, yeah. They never talked about contribution margin being the cure for COVID, but I think they should have.
Classic cover
Yeah,
up. The
Yep.
big one.
misinformation is just wild out there.
I think that's why Fauci needed a pardon because he wasn't preaching that.
hmm
That's a hot one. I love that.
Keeping that from the people.
Beauty. Austin, Texas. It's warm. Apparently, it's been cold in Texas, actually, which is wild.
It depends
Ugh,
on where you're from. For me, it's still just beautiful here.
yeah. Someone just called me the chill guy. Dang. I don't get that one too often. If you get to know me one-on-one, it gets a little more intense. Beauty. Awesome. Well, we've got some amazing we've got our usual guys that hold down the fort over at Audit, the best UX folks in the game. We've got Nate, the best watch slinger, hash slinger, bash bringer of Original Grain. How you doing, Nate?
I'm good. Yeah, I just cracked my third Red Bull of the day, and sales are up, man. Valentine's Day sales crushing, so life's good.
I was
Just
just gonna
one. Oh, what's up,
I
Taylor?
was just gonna say I'm a couple cold brews deep, so I'm
Let's
glad I'm
go.
not the only one that's just a little on edge.
Yeah, need it.
Well, Nate, just one question. What's the gripe with coffee over these energy drinks?
Oh, it's
Uh,
super obvious. It doesn't taste good.
Oh, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's my hot take. Coffee doesn't taste good. If you think it does, you forced yourself to drink it for long enough without liking it. You've acquired the taste, but it's bitter. It's not good.
well, question though. The first time you tasted whiskey, did you really enjoy the taste?
No, but at least it was an instant reward, you know?
Oof. I
Yeah.
mean, if you love the feeling of a good Red Bull, maybe you should work on that acquired taste. Beauty. Awesome. Well, cool. How we feeling today, everyone? From Hewlett? Oh, wow. Look at that last name over there, everyone. I think we got a celebrity.
Marsha Ander.
Fernie BC in the house too.
That the missus or your mom?
My mother. We're
Nice.
getting so exciting news. I'm getting married on September 6th of this year. So my
Oh,
fiance will
nice.
be taking the last name. So there'll be a new Ander up in
Let's
here.
go.
She's
Yeah.
still moving forward with it, Dylan. After all this time to think about it,
Her decision, not, I mean, not mine, of course, but her
still a
decision.
lot of time left. There's still a lot of time left.
Yeah, she just uses me for optimizing websites. That's really all I'm good for.
She's a
Awesome,
designer, isn't she?
everyone. You guys could hear us talk because we all, like the four of us, miss each other forever. But let's go into some websites. You guys know the drill. Who wants their website to be demolished with what I call the New York love? Drop them in the chat. Drop them in the chat. In the chat. Mar-a-Lago, is that the one I'm thinking of?
Let's see.
Oh no, it's no, this is not a Trump's hideout. This is a jewelry brand. So cool. Let's get these loaded up. First come, first serve. Drop them in, drop them in, drop them in. Cool. Kinetic Labs. I'm excited. I have no clue what that is, but excited to open the website. Cool. Pardon me as I pull up all of these. Sean, why don't you ask the crowd a really interesting question? One you've never asked anyone before.
Goodness.
I
One
put
thing we've
you on the
never
spot
asked
for
is
me.
how's everyone's conversion rate been to start off 2025? Is it up or down?
I've never asked that because fuck conversion
Yeah,
rate, but
taking November and December out of the equation.
Yeah, down, down, down.
down, down,
Well,
down.
we've got our
But are
work
you
cut
guys
out, Dylan.
pushing more
Everyone's
top
down.
funnel?
A lot of downers.
What's revenue per session though? That's the real question.
My guy. That's why we brought Nate on. Nate, do you want to give them your rundown on being anti-CRO? I'd actually
Yeah.
like you to drop some bars.
Yeah, so we don't call it CRO internally. We've called it PRO for the last couple of years, profit and revenue optimization. And the example that we always talk about is like, I could double your conversion rate tomorrow. I would run a 50% off sale. And then if you want to double it again the next day, I would stop all advertising and your conversion rate would double again. But neither of those things are going to help grow your business or add dollars to your bottom line. So what we care about is pushing the most traffic possible to our website while extracting the most we can out of each user. So every split test we run, the North Star metric is either revenue or profit per session, not conversion rate. Because what we've seen is like we can increase AOV, lose a little bit of conversion rate, but profit and revenue per session are way up. We add a ton of dollars to the bottom line. So yeah, we are an anti-conversion rate organization, but the PRO stuff we do, those tactics are like some of the most important marketing activities we do. We do way more there and invest a lot more there than we do in our Facebook ads or our retention strategies or anything else we do because we can improve website performance. All those channels are going to improve efficiency as well.
Love
Pro
that.
just sounds so much better than Crow too.
I like calling it pro too. Yeah, sounds great.
You call it Crow? You're a Crow guy?
No, I'm
Calling it
just
Crow is
saying
kind of crazy.
the acronym Pro slash instead of Crow just sounds
Yeah.
better.
I'm still trying to help the community get out of the whole Crow thing and make sure they say CRO. I hear a lot of crows out there. Cool. Awesome. I've got a bunch pulled up. You guys know the drill. First come, first serve. All right. We had a lot, so we're gonna have to definitely speed through. So I'm gonna put us on a timer, which is definitely one of our weakest attributes as a group here. So let's start ripping, rocking, and rolling, team. All righty. Nate, as a special guest, you're up first.
Sweet.
Let's take a look at this homepage. How you feeling? Also, spirits. That's why I thought of you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for bringing a whiskey related brand to the forefront here. Really great way to capture my interest. That text for me is a little hard to read right off the bat. And I would really focus on what's the first thing that people are reading when they come to your website. The best way to travel with bottles sounds like a feature to me rather than a benefit. I would maybe test trying to sell a hassle-free travel experience or a stress-free way to carry your booze. Focus on the positive feelings and the positive experience someone's going to have with your product more than just what the product is itself.
Couldn't agree more.
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to keep on riffing?
No, Sean Taylor
No.
jumping in, boys.
I think the first thing that jumped out to me is it's really tough when your product names mimic the product name for pretty much this exact same product category. What I mean by that is bottle flight, buy a bottle flight. The first thing that makes me think of is buying bottles of alcohol, and you're buying the actual like holder or whatever you want to call it, cases. So finding a maybe different or more unique way to communicate that right off the hop in case they're only reading that headline, I think would be really helpful. I think the overall, like throughout the homepage, outside the header, it does a decent job of surfacing like access to the products, social proof. But the whole point of that header is try and get someone not to scroll. Can I get them to click on one of these links? Can I get them interested right off the bat? And it's just not doing a ton to draw me in from like a social proof standpoint. There's a ton of extra space here. It doesn't need to be anything complex. It could be how many, bottle flights you shipped. It could be how many customers you've had. It could be reviews. I think anything to just drive that home would be really helpful. And then just in general, I mean, I'm not a big fan of carousels. I think carousels are essentially just the team not being able to decide what they want to push. If you want to use a carousel, run 2 different landing pages with those 2 things and, push those 2 different things via different ad strategies. But I don't know, that's my take. I think the products in general, the imagery, it's really straightforward to the point. I think it'd just be a little more clear that they're not buying alcohol.
Yeah. First off, in there you said off the hop. I thought that was a pun, but I guess it was not. And then number 2, Sean's not a fan of sliders. I'm morally opposed, or I'm financially opposed to sliders. We've got a huge data set, and we're going to be launching a bomb of a giant guide of tons of data as to why sliders are not the move ever on any website, ever above the fold. Just don't do it. Never a slider. Pick one. You can actually run a split test of, let's say you have 3 or 4 of them, like you're looking at right here. You can split test which one of them are the best one and then roll with it and then just leave it. Just one of them is best. So that's a huge one. So let's keep traveling down the homepage. We're going to be doing 1 page per site so we can actually keep our timelines, because if we were here, we'd spend 40 minutes a site. So let's keep rocking and rolling. Taylor, how you feeling about what's going on now?
I think same thing as before. Accessibility just on the fonts is a little tough. I would move the press piece, if that's what they're going to use, up a little higher there, just to kind of start telling the story instead of getting right into it. Again, like even just going back to the hero, there was like one of the call to actions was buy bottle flight, and that's a little like it's just a little too early to ask if that's where they're actually going. I'm guessing that goes to the PDP page, but technically that would mean you're buying it. So maybe it'd be shop bottle flight there instead. But yeah, as you scroll down again, I think just leading into more of like a trust, whether that's some social proof from UGC type stuff, something that press piece has said. I think it was just the press logos there. If I'm not mistaken, you scroll down.
Yep. Sorry, trying to do some comments same time.
Yeah, so like that featured in, if you can bring that up and then try to drop a quote that one of them has said underneath that really hits home, something that one might answer a lot of your frequently asked questions, or add just more proof, because the featured in is kind of table stakes right now. Most websites have whatever publications they put up there, but it's like, did you pay for that? Did you get a feature in it? Did they say something really great about it? So that will just help with that, first initial real estate of the homepage.
Completely. Love it. So yeah, that's the other thing now, which is on homepages. I've got a very special place in my heart. I've actually got a case study coming out with Nate over here where we had over 50 million sessions that we took a look at where there was a first entry page. We found that homepage gave better ROAS than any other page on the website, because it's kind of like going into a store and you get to go around to what's best for you instead of getting pushed to like one aisle and you can't really leave that aisle. It's very different, but that's something on homepages. What I've found is never have buy on your homepage, right? They see this one image. Are they really ready to give you money on just seeing this one image? So never have buy. And think about it. What's in your a lot of people think that button text doesn't matter so much, but like
Matters
you're
a lot.
telling them what to do. Exactly. You're telling them what to do. People online make fun of CRO agencies that are like, oh, they're just going to change your button text. Well, up yours, guys. Like if you saw the results that we got by changing button text, it's so wild. So having buy bottle, shop all products. If you have those 2 options, I'm going to go shop. I'm not trying to buy right now when I first get to the site. So we hit our 5-minute mark. Any last words from anyone here? I think we've got it pretty good, and rock on to the next one.
Yep.
Let's do it.
You aged in ore. Hopefully that was useful to you guys. I totally did the last one first. It is first come, first serve. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Gentlemen, let me refresh this just so we're good. Awesome. Who's feeling inspired? Oh, by the way, guys, please stop your pop-ups from loading on load. Please, like for the love of money, stop it. I don't even know what this is. I don't know what this is. Just like everyone, literally pull up your website on mobile right now. If it loads immediately, go yell at someone or change it yourself, please.
That
Who's
top
inspired?
that top notification bar, just a quick one. make something actionable there. I know it's a small area, but order by, there should be a shop now pushing into something you wanting to go towards, which is kind of waste real estate there.
It's actually
Okay.
clickable, which is very interesting. I thought this would be non-clickable, but it actually is
What is it?
clickable.
Ah,
It's
so
just
maybe
not
just give
clear.
them a little clear call to action. It's like, you know, shop whatever
Or
now,
just-
or even
Or just
underlined or something.
underline it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Either underline it or make the text that order necklaces, insert whatever this, product is, like, order blank necklaces by February 11th for, free delivery or before Valentine's Day, which, by the 14th, you're saying Valentine's Day. I would also just say Valentine's Day. And this is something that's not just unique to Valentine's Day, but for all sales. So it's like if it was a July 4th sale, you wouldn't say by the 4th, you'd say by July 4th. That's actually a bad example.
It's the
Labor Day.
worst example you possibly could have come up with.
Love, thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah, no, if like it should have been like say Halloween instead of the
Yeah.
31st. You don't want to say the holiday that's been named after the number, but
You guys just
can,
want to kick me out?
can you actually go back to that best sellers page for a second? One thing that we've spent a ton of time doing is testing how our products are merchandised on our collection pages. And this top real estate is crazy valuable. So having the first slot taken up by something that says, your brand name and browse all, I think it's probably not bringing in the revenue that it should be. We've had a lot of success filling up with proven best sellers, anything that's relevant to the time of year, anything that you might know already is the best Valentine's Day gift. I would put those up top and then leave the browse all buttons to be at the bottom of each of those blocks.
I will say one thing because we usually just shit on sites on this. So I'm going to point out something. I think something they're doing well that I see a lot of brands not doing. Browse all 1/16 pieces. A lot of brands we work with, it'll just say shop all. You have no idea what the count is of that category or whatever. So that's a nice little piece there where you actually are showing them how many pieces in a collection. So small little thing, but good job on that.
Yeah, great call. Another thing here as well. So I know that whoever's the site owner here, you guys have this, static thing of choosing all the products here. But if you think about it, this is information overload, right? Like they have so many that they can look at here. This is just further distracting. I feel like this is like a never-ending, like IKEA. I don't know if you guys have that up in Canada, but there's just way too much in the store and goes way far. They print money, but like there's just way too much going on, way too many options. Plus, you guys have necklaces at the top, earrings, rings. If I just scroll down a little bit, earrings, rings, remove this one. If you're on a PDP also, I bet you this one stays there as well. Nope, good job. So you don't have it here. So it also should not be on your collection page either, because now you're just making information overload. They can click literally everywhere. And one other fun fact. We have this actually in our AI and heat map. Baymar did a huge study. So I think it's something like 14% of human beings are left-handed. Having your menu over on the right actually makes it a lot harder to click on a mobile phone. It's much easier to stretch across and have it on the left. So if you look, 90% of websites and even Shopify theme defaults, they all have that hamburger menu over on the left because it's way easier to click. So anytime, if any of you guys have it on the right side, put it over to the left and thank me later. It's just you don't got
Guilty. We have it on the right. I will move it promptly. I'm sorry.
you don't have to apologize. Just maybe your account holders.
Yeah, if you could not tell them the next time you see them, that'd be great.
Don't worry. We love you, Ryan. Awesome. Anything else, guys? We are above quota of our timelines.
I think my only comment is they make the assumption that people know what Larimar is. There's not really many places on the site that I can find that like every piece of jewelry on here is blue, right? After you went through the site and I scrolled through, I understood that, okay, there's maybe Larimar must be that blue colored stone they're using. But the user's price sensitivity to this product is going to be based on how valuable that stone is, right? Not everyone's just like, oh, it's blue, I love blue, I don't care what the price. That's not going to happen. So there needs to be some sort of pitch somewhere, homepage. I'm sure there's some info on the product page, but I've never heard of Larimar. So if I'm shopping for jewelry for my wife and she loves blue, it's going to be important to me that I understand what this gem is. Is it valuable? Is it just pretty? There's no right answer there, but giving some explanation of what it is and why it's a great stone, I think could be helpful.
That's a 10 out of 10 call out. That if even if you guys, whoever's the site owner here, just Larimar, like gemstone or whatever the right one is for the industry, if you just put Larimar gemstone necklaces, I would immediately be like, okay, this is obviously a unique type of stone and probably make me more likely to buy. Great call out, Sean. Cool. Let's rock and roll on, believe, Kinetic Labs. Don't worry, this has been up for a while, so pop-up makes sense. Cool. So there is more info on the homepage, but thanks, guys. You are welcome, Brianna. Our pleasure. Thank you for coming to How We Buy. Cool. Who's first? The energy drink guy?
First of all, props to you guys for having the hamburger menu on the correct side, the left side. I'm still doing that one wrong, so happy to see it.
Here, wait, actually, let's go to a PDP. We haven't done one of those yet.
Let's do it.
Pick a group. Taylor, pick a group. What do you want to see?
Let's go keycaps. Big keycap guy.
Keycaps. We
Big
actually just
keycap
signed
guy.
on a huge I didn't know keycaps were so like such a big thing.
Oh, people nerd out on this.
I'm a big Apple guy, like through and through with every single accessory. So I'm a happy man. But awesome. Taylor, keep it rocking. Here, let me scroll here so we can see. Actually, this
I would
won't,
say
but
I
let's
would say that like we always try to say get as much feather fold as possible and try to minimize space, but this just showing tiles of the images that are upcoming, we tend to see just people can see, they don't have to scroll through. A lot of people shop through that product image carousel. So I would say that just having those tiles to see, you know, the images that are coming up so they can just go to what they want to see is always a little helpful
I think
as opposed to the bar.
the other thing here, I love the live shipping tracker. That's super interesting. I'd probably move that below the add to cart where the in stock ready to ship is. I would just have that counter there personally. The first bullet point there, 170 keys compatible with most boards. That's a tricky one for me. When you lead off with the word most, but then don't give them any information on which ones is it compatible with, right? Like there's no access to be like, is it compatible with mine? You're kind of setting me up to hesitate by saying most. So I don't know. I don't know what your take is on that, Dylan, but that just that terminology or not giving them access to like, hey, here's the list of keyboard manufacturers that our keys work with. I don't know. I'm not a keycap guy, so maybe it's just super common sense, but I feel like that's a little bit murky.
Sean, you are typically the UX guy, not the copywriting guy. Never been more proud of you personally. That is 11 out of 10. I actually wasn't going to pick that one up, but you know, imagine like I mean that's actually brilliant, Sean. Just to say that it's compatible with most boards. Also, isn't that supposed to be keyboards? Like it's not a surfboard, you know? So I think this copywriting could definitely be and made of thick PBT. This kind of is two different value propositions if you think about it. 170 keys, or it's actually three. 170 compatible with most boards, made of thick PBT. That's actually three different, you know, bullets. It's not one. So kind of stuffing too many in there. Also agree that this is down there. In the chat, I will send you guys one of these sweet heat map shirts right here that everyone is adoring. I can't even, I have my Zoom flipped. It's super annoying, but you guys will get some of the sickest merch. If you guys can guess, I'll spoil it a little. Quantity selectors are out. Most people and shoppers nowadays don't use quantity selectors. Once they add to cart, they increase shipping there. I have a ton of data behind it. What percentage lower than other elements do you think on a page quantity selectors have? Whoever gets it closest in the chat will get a super cool surprise. 30%. That's actually the number. Okay.
Damn,
Whoever
first guess.
the first guess, it was 30%. That was mind-boggling. Yeah. It's about 30% lower than every other element on the site. So Karina, if you're here, Niall, shoot a message. You get some free heat map merch. Super fun. That was pretty funny for me. That was awesome. Love that. So yes, they're some of the least valuable elements on a site You're also creating scroll depth. Got to move that up. So like if you're here, it's typically going to be, yeah, usually it's about 680. Let me do my little nerd fun one here. This is about what your people are going to see. So they literally can't even see the price. They can't see anything. That's what the normal phone's going to look like. So no bueno. They need to see the price, need to see add to cart button, and they need to see what they're buying, meaning the images. So let's make sure that gets fixed ASAP. That is super important. Taylor,
Are those purple words like 170 keys and never fade? Are those clickable or is that just a highlight?
don't seem to be clickable.
Okay. Okay.
Can you,
Agreed.
Yeah, I
Go ahead,
agree
Taylor.
with pretty much everything you guys are saying. On Sean's point too, it's just like we work with a lot of automobile companies that do car covers or whatever else, or lift kits, drop kits, and it's just so important to figure out what it's compatible with. One, for minimizing returns, and two, for just giving people confidence and no guessing at this stage. So that is key. However you solve that, there's a better way to solve it, but just having some option, whether it's something you can click to see what's compatible with or search for, would be super helpful. Or just the brands.
I think too, in that, I don't know about you guys, but those actions under the add to cart, I personally have never seen, I've seen lots of reminder actions for something out of stock, like remind me when it's in stock. I've never seen this where they're just saying, remind me, I'm not buying right now, shoot me an email in a few days. You can pick how many days to send a reminder, shoot me an email in a few days, and maybe I'll be ready to buy. I'd love your guys, Nate and Dylan, your take on that functionality and whether it's going to be helpful or essentially just giving them an out from purchasing.
So only if it's out of stock. If it's out of stock, there's a couple of Shopify apps, but you could also custom build it pretty easily. Nate, do you guys do this actually? Because I know you guys have a ton of inventory.
No, when we're sold out, if it's like a top dog best seller, we'll just put it on pre-sale. People don't mind waiting a month for, handcrafted watches. But if it's more of a minor seller, we'll just take it off the site completely. Both of those work better for us than doing the remind me thing.
That's a great call. I love that. Okay, cool. That even challenged me. So what I've seen a lot, like if you know your lead time is going to be like 2 months or something like that, that people aren't necessarily comfortable waiting that long. The remind me, like which is like out of stock, like it'll say like out of stock somewhere above, and it'll be like, remind me, and then they'll click it, add their email. You just got a free email, super high intent. So also these copy link favorite, I ditch all these guys, let them get straight to here. Everything else looks good. I feel complete on this one. Anything that you guys want to dive in on as I scroll up and down?
One thing I want to touch on is the content of the images up top. Can you scroll to the right and get to the first like close-up one where you can actually see the design on the keys? It's not that one for me. It's kind of that one, but it's really this fourth one, where you can like first kind of see what the details of the keys are. I think I'm confused on the vibe because it's called Ocean Party, but then the first pick it's on like a mountain lake kind of pad. Um, and then close up, I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but I just make sure like the vibe of the whole PDP should match what the product is. And I don't know that this one's hitting that all the way.
That may be first. That maybe should be the first one in the carousel too, because you're really focused on the key cap, like that's
Yeah.
the product, not the full keyboard. So that brings it to life a lot more. Like this image, you can just see blue keys, whereas if you do that close up and then follow with that secondary image, I think that might be a little more efficient.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
The other thing here, I say this about hero images a lot, but your featured image is right here, right? Like, am I buying the keyboard? Am I buying this awesome, ocean related mat back here? Am I buying this preprocessor, this little amp right here? Am I buying this little bottle? Am I buying this stand up here? Am I buying the whole desk? We have no idea. I don't know if I could zoom in. I wish that the image, I can't do it horizontally, but I wish the image was like capped off here and capped off here. So you know that this is the hero of the image and what they actually want are going to be buying. Other thing I think would be really interesting here, because these are the actual keycaps, I think it would be kind of cool to have a hand with the keycaps in them to kind of show the size, especially having a human element in every image always performs best. So you'll see it's kind of stone cold the way I say it. There's no human element in any of these. Even though they're keycaps and, having some fingers on it or holding them in a hand, that's another thing that would definitely improve not conversion rate, but revenue per session.
One one call out here, and this is more of a personal opinion, so I'd love your guys' take, but all their keycap sets, they're essentially the same with different colors and designs. My personal opinion is you could probably argue that they could share reviews. Like what they're reviewing is the quality of these keycaps. If they like the design, they're going to buy it. I don't really think that necessitates, oh, I have it in my hands. Oh, I hated the design. It's like, okay, well, you saw the design up front. So in my opinion, I would have all of these keycaps, at least the ones that share that PBT keycap, share reviews. That way, each of these can have reviews on the PDP versus some of them have none. Even if there's only a few, I feel like it'd be beneficial.
Yeah, also, why do we have single caps here and full keyboards on these other ones? I think this is way better because this actually shows me what kind of
Yeah,
cap I'm
agreed.
on.
Does that come one, but with one though? Like, because it's like single artisan metallic, and the rest are the full set. I have no idea. Never bought keycaps in my life, but
Based on price, I think that is correct. Like 400 versus 26 bucks.
with the
But
individual
if you
keycap.
had two or three of them, that would be amazing, right? So there's also too many. I was thinking what you were thinking, Sean, of like, can these be combined? But there's like nearly 100 of them here, so we can't have 100 selectors on one PDP. But yeah, it does look kind of mediocre and not as trustworthy that like you literally don't have, you
Yeah.
know,
All these
one.
are out of stock too. If you're not bringing them back, just get them off your website.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dylan, this is a question I've had for a long time for you to ask you. If something has 0 reviews, like we work with a lot of brands that they have a top selling product that has 2,600 reviews, the rest have 1, 3 review. Does showing 1 and 3 reviews on a product page tend to hurt conversion as opposed to just not having the review count on there? I'm curating like a nice testimonial as opposed to the actual account when it's a low number.
Nate, how often do you guys make new SKUs?
A lot every month.
Do they go on the same PDP and share reviews or unique ones?
They have unique ones on like at the top of the PDP, but towards the bottom we have like brand reviews, basically. Um,
Hmm.
so there are certain PDPs where like I think it's if the watch has less than 100, it'll default to like a brand review. Um, that's just like bought a watch for my husband for Christmas. He loves it, whatever. Um, but all of them should at least have 100 these
Yeah.
days.
We'll say this for the end, but we get to roast Nate's site and he has to sit here and listen. But
That's fine. I'm gonna send the recording to my team. Yeah, so that one's got 33 on its own. If you scroll down to the bottom, is it are these reviews? Oh no, so that is only 33. Yeah, it's not great. I wouldn't mind showing here that like as a brand we have 30,000 5-star reviews. I don't think that's misleading. But that's how I prefer it.
I like
One note on your comment, Dylan, on the brass ones. It's
over
the
here.
initial link. Yeah, like the initial Ocean one we were looking at was $45 for 170 keys, so 25 cents a key. That brass one is $45 for 1 key. Just to
Ooh.
avoid confusion, is there any merit in showing price per key on those full sets?
100%. So one thing that I do here, this is a supplement brand, so a little bit different. Well, actually, it kind of same if you take a look at it. Put this on the left. So if you're looking at something like this, you can see here 1740 each, 19 each, 22 for one bottle. That converts a heck of a lot better. This was split tested from showing like $22 versus $56 versus $89. So something that's really valuable. I think that's a good one, Sean. I think that's something that should be tested. So cool. We are way over quota on this one. Hope that was useful to the website owner. Put a thumbs up in the chat if that was useful. If not, please put a thumbs up still so people don't hate us. Cool. Let's keep it rolling, everyone. Christian, love it. Awesome. Taylor, what page you feeling? Home page, product page, collections, or even a
Let's
cart?
wait. Let's do card. Let's add a product to the card and take a look at the card, or look at
Cart.
it first and then
Let's do it. Let's take.
look at it without product first. I just want to see what state it is on empty. It's just blank.
Yeah, so let's take a look at empty cart.
Yeah, I don't mind this.
That
We
ain't
have
too bad, actually.
80% of brands come to us with just your card is empty with no jumping off point. Just a general blanket statement for everybody. Just get them some sort of bestsellers, shop now, some sort of place to keep shopping, even though it's forgotten about because the card is empty. You're just wasting space there if you can't give them a place to go hang out. All right, let's add a product and take a peek.
Proud to say that is actually something I purely learned from you guys. I think I saw the audit account share it one day of like, if your cart's empty, don't just have it, your cart is empty. Always have like a call to action to go back and shop, or like maybe 3 shop like this one, and this one. Actually, Sean and Taylor, do you guys have a best practice that like, let's say this whole thing is just empty and it says, like your cart's empty. What do you guys find works best in a cart that is empty?
I think this one's a little unique. We would actually never recommend adding to cart from an empty cart, but this one, the product are so low in price, you could argue it might work. I generally say if you have a ton of SKUs, surface bestsellers, new arrivals, sale, shop all, like more blanket categories. If you have very few SKUs, then you would surface more specific categories like shop jeans, shop shirts, or shop this bottle, or this bottle if you have like 3. So it just depends. If you have very few SKUs, surface those exact SKUs. But I would send them to the PDP personally, unless in this case, it might work, right? These are really low price point. You might be able to get them to add to cart here.
Yeah, like this shop now right here sounds like it may be like shop energy bars, shop drink mix, shop whatever, so
Yeah.
they can go in and take a look at it. That's what you guys had as one. So let's go ahead and add one choco latte. Also, shout out to this. See how it says 24 gels, 358 per gel instead of
Yeah.
86. So
Add the one serving or just the one pack to cart. I just want to see if they're doing.
oh, quantity selector, get out of
Obsessed.
here. You guys don't even have a box around it. Get out of there.
Okay. So, obviously better with something in there too you might also like, but I think one of the easiest upsells here is just like hitting over the head again with adding more of the one they've already purchased for the savings. So right under there, you can add
Make it
more,
a 5
say,
pack.
yeah, make it a 5-pack, save 10%, because giving them other things that are just kind of similar, and usually it's just the same things that are coming in if you haven't done it right. Giving them something that's like they're already interested in it, they didn't choose the extra package, give them another one to incentivize them to get that. I think that would be a closely related upsell compared to these, but yeah, that'd be the one thing I would say.
On that PDP too, Dylan, I love that they show the price per unit. But like we always say, never make them do math. Like, show me 24 gels is 10% savings, 5% savings, 48 gels is 7% savings. Just give them all the info they need. And I like it can just be in brackets. This is just like a default selector, so they probably can't style it, but ideally you have those savings like in another color highlighted.
Yeah, like right here, like USD. Usually I always recommend not having USD because people know that this dollar sign is dollars. So typically I don't recommend USD, but $86 in parentheses, it'd be like, 12% savings or 18% savings.
Yeah.
Then you go up there, just like Sean said, don't
Yeah.
make math. Also, actually, I can make an argument that these numbers here do not match what this number is. So you actually kind of have to do math or at least check your math that you weren't anticipating, making you almost like lose trust. Like, oh, am I trying to get swindled over here? And it doesn't match what's here. So I would choose total price on both of them or price per gel with total here. So kind of got to go one or the other which is what I would say. So one other thing I wanted to say in the cart as well. So as we were going here, it says add, add, add. Checkout is to the left, and it is 375 because I just chose one. This does not look like a checkout button. It's like proceed to checkout, buy now, like, or, go get it, something like that. This does not look like that. There's also a
Also,
right here. I don't know what these do. I don't even think they do anything. Uh, don't love that either. I would delete this, either change the color and the text and get rid of the dollar amount, because putting the dollar amount here I found doesn't always help. That's actually something I see the audit folk do a lot. I'm curious your guys' opinion on that. So I'm sure you guys agree probably this is super unoptimized right here, but how would you guys treat this? Or even Nate, if you want to jump in.
I think sorry, Nate, I'll let you go in a second.
Go.
I think the carousel underneath, if it's very valuable information, could be helpful. I probably wouldn't give them actions to take there. There's a high chance they're going to hit an arrow and hit checkout, and then you've given them a unintended action and they're frustrated. But at the same time, like if you're going to have any info there, it's got to be clear. Like, what the hell does -1 ton of CO2 mean? I mean, is that for the company? Is that for this one pack of energy gel? What, I have no idea what that means or if it's beneficial to me. On the action itself, yeah, I would probably rather have this text middle center adjusted. But the more important part is you have 4 actions visible. There's no hierarchy, right? The checkout button is the primary action. That should hit them in the face. Add should all be secondary actions. They could be a black stroked line. They could be filled with black, but they cannot be the same color as the checkout. It's the same with your add to cart button. I don't want other actions near my add to cart that draw attention away from it. They need to feel secondary in some way.
Love it.
Nailed it.
One thing I would think about here is there's a lot of options on these upsells. I would bet 1 or 2 of them perform drastically better than the rest. I would limit it to those 1 or 2 and maybe just put a couple more pieces of copy, maybe put reviews on them. Try to sell those 1 or 2 that do better a little bit harder rather than showing 5 of them just for the sake of having 5 of them. I just try to be a little more persuasive with the 1 or 2 that really move the needle.
Yeah, also, I mean, I can't really zoom in too much without this. Nope, can't zoom in at all. But don't forget the fold is going to be here, so you actually might not even see 2 of them. They might be hidden. People may not even know there's anything to scroll, so keep them static and just like Nate said, just go for those 2, try and get those upsells.
also
Cool.
just one last thing. You're incentivizing free shipping. And I know it's only like a small thing they put in the cart, but like if you can give them something that gets them closer to free shipping or gets them there, it's just that, order this or add this to unlock free shipping, at least one of those things. If it's a crazy difference in price, sometimes it doesn't make sense, but there's that incentive they have to add so many of these single products to get to that free shipping threshold that giving them like one option to add a multi-pack that gets them closer or something, and it might incentivize people to get the AOV up.
Yeah, I was going to mention that as well. Granted, it's just a $3 that we
Yeah.
have product, but you're 66 away from free shipping. This is bolded, so I see free shipping, but I'm like, what's going on? Should say
Long
free
ways.
shipping and the $66, which I would assume $70 total, that should be right around here, right?
Yeah.
Like, that should be obvious. Don't make them do math. Don't make them have to scroll around. There's also this number that's rotating here. So awesome. Anything else before we go? Way over quota.
Let me throw one other thing here that the brand owner might hate. Don't let people buy 1 at a time. Try forcing
Ooh.
people into a 6-pack of everything and just see what happens. Like, yeah, or the 12, whatever the smallest one is.
Yeah.
A big unlock for us has been getting our AOV up, and I bet you could do that with a couple simple tests,
Yeah.
but it doesn't seem great to sell $4 gels individually.
Yeah.
Or push the sample pack if people want to try or find what they
Yeah.
want to buy more of. Push like a assorted pack for that type of stuff.
Honestly, 45 ain't that high to actually test something. Most products that
It's
you
really
want to.
not.
So I think this brand, you guys could be not sick like Nate with a higher ROAS if you just start with 12 as the bottom.
One other small thing that goes for every brand, that's why I want to bring it up. Whenever you have an action that has a reverse of that action, so an accordion, your cart, the action to reverse it needs to be in the exact same spot as the action you took. So like when you click on cart, Dylan, you'll see in order to close it, it's now on the other side. That
Mm.
whenever there's an action with a reverse action, it has to be in the same spot. It's just, that's not an e-com thing. That's just general UX. You're just causing frustration. Yeah, it's a small thing. It's like click and then unclick versus click and then reach over and click. But it matters. Whether it's an accordion, whether it's a drop down, whether it's a cart menu, whatever.
That's money, Sean. As I've had to jump into product design, which hurts my CRO brain a lot of the time on SaaS. Yeah, it must stay the same. It is constant no matter what. Cool. Whoever owned the site, give a thumbs up if you liked it. Give a thumbs up if you didn't like it. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming to How We Buy. Cool. What do we got here? Magic Linen. Man, you are welcome. Alrighty. Whoever the site owner is, what page do you want us to rip apart? Going 3, going 2, anything with balloons.
I'll take a stab at it if that's all right.
Yeah, homepage.
When you're running a sale, you should make it obvious, but I got to know what I'm buying before I care about the discount. So all I see right here is sustainable and handmade. I don't know what OECO Tex certified is. And I know it's 60% off, but I have no reference for what I'm looking at and how much it usually costs. So I think before you can communicate the value of the sale, I would make sure you understand, or I understand the value of the products themselves.
Totally. Also, what are you guys selling? I know it's linen in your title, but the shirt looks nice, the shorts look nice, the pillows look nice. We don't know what we're buying.
Yeah, looking at that image, I'd assume they sell everything that's in that image, even just given the color, which I'm assuming they do.
Totally.
Yeah, they do. What's your take, Nate, on that sale offer up there? Saying up to 60% off in the headline, but not showing the savings in the action. I personally would have those savings on the action as well.
I
Like
would
shop.
too. Yeah. So, like our homepage right now, it does have a big and bold Valentine's Day sale call out on it. And then the call to action does say save up to $100 off.
That's money, Nate.
Thank
Look
you.
at your PRO tactics. Love it.
Thank you. Thank
Hey,
you.
Dylan, open up the navigation. I don't think we've really looked at too many mobile navs.
Ooh, good call. Sweet. Okay. I've got a lot of opinions on Nav if I could take this one.
Yeah, go
Um,
for it.
Cool. So build your own bundle. I'd be super interested. Not a pitch to emap.com, but like I'd be fascinated to see if this has a higher revenue per click than the other ones here, because it's at the top of the hierarchy. Also, one of our clients just did a case study where they actually colored in a similar build your own bundle, like it was like kind of like red, which goes with their brand. So if you guys had this in like a specific color versus just white drowning out like the rest of them, could be interesting if that does bring in a higher revenue per click. So super interesting there is number one. Number two, these plus signs. Whoa, wowzers. Okay, you guys have a lot of SKUs. Another thing as well. Okay, so you guys saw how I just clicked on that to try and get more products to show up. Hold on,
Yeah.
it's not in the open. Okay, so we have a plus sign. You guys just destroyed your hierarchy. I thought that if I would click here, it would bring more down. Granted, yeah, it's a carrot to the side, but I would do a carrot down and have these new arrivals. I mean, I don't know how many SKUs are here, but it's kind of misleading that I would probably delete these, to be honest, because that just frustrated me that I clicked here, thought it was going to be a drop down, and it wasn't. So I would probably just delete these altogether. You could have your plus and minus up here. But the other thing I've found is, I don't know, when I look at it, like it's kind of intuitive that when you have a carrot as a drop down versus a plus signs are not very common. A bunch of Shopify themes have them like out the box, which I don't love. I would put those as drop down carrots right here instead of those plus signs. That's number one. So bedding, women, men, bath, home, gifts. This is another thing that's really interesting. I found this is a little bit of a deviation. What I've found really, really, really effective. If you have such a huge number of SKUs and some of them are geared for men, some for women, if you go here and you have shop men and shop women, it actually goes beautifully because then people feel kind of like more empowered that they're closer to getting what they want, kind of like an aisle in a physical store. So because you have this here for shop men, shop women, think about it, you've built a bundle, bedding, women, men, bath, home, gifts. This women and men, I don't believe belongs on here. I think that you should take whatever's in here and put them into the category they actually matter on. Maybe your collections page are separate, but that's something that I would definitely do, that men and women don't match bedding, bath, home, and gifts. And then lastly, what I've found, put this stuff in your footer. These are not worthy of being in your nav that like about 60% of people open based on a lot of data that we've got. Also, social media icons, get rid of them, log in. You can have it up here or in your nav. United States that you could have down in your nav, not nav, sorry, down in your footer. So overall, a lot of gripes here. Other thing I also saw from audit, put a testimonial right here. They're really nice. Nate, do you have one on your site?
Where's the mute button? No, we don't. Not there.
Cool. Toss it in,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah, wish
Other-
we did.
One last call out there is you've already created the expectation that you're showing savings on a menu item, right? Build your own bundle, say 15%. That sale button is going to get way more clicks if right beside it says up to 60%.
Love that.
Yep.
That's a great call out.
One thing to clarify too, Dylan, the reason Dylan said remove the social icons is you're giving them the opportunity from your navigation to lead site. So any brand that's on this call, I know it's just standard just to like throw it up there, but they're on your site to buy. Like if you need them there, bury them in your footer or something, but like just remove in any place where that could be more incentivized to put there.
Yeah, you're like suggesting for them to go watch dancing videos by having them click TikTok. So they're not going to buy, they're going to go watch some TikTok videos instead. So Nate, do you have social media icons?
I think we do, but I'm going to remove them today. That's such a great point of like, I just spent a lot of good money to get you off one of those platforms and to my website. Why the hell would I care if you go back? I don't really care if you follow me on Instagram. I want you to buy a watch.
I concur. So we did not get to all of these. We got 5 minutes. How do you guys feel about changing up the little how we buy structure for our last 5 minutes for just a giant Q&A? How do we feel about that? Or do we want to do one more site?
No, let's do it.
You guys want to rip original grain for
No,
60 seconds?
we didn't rip original grain. Okay, we'll do that after, Nate. So let's take a look. Ooh, another site. We're getting a couple requests for another site. Okay, let's do one more super fast. V was asking for Super Speciosa over there. So you miss all the shots you don't take. Let's do it. Let's do a quick rip, and then if you guys want to stay on for another like 5 minutes, we'll go through and just do open Q&A on any question you have. Start hitting up the chat, and Karina will let us know super fast. Cool. 30 seconds, everyone. Nate, what you seeing?
I'm learning a lot about the brand and why I would buy it. So great on the headline and copy here. You're telling me what I'm buying and the benefits of it. Button on there, reviews on there. I like it.
I dig. This is hard to
Cool.
read.
Yeah,
Welcome.
Yeah.
yeah, a little bit.
Scroll down a bit, Dylan. I like that these product cards have the pricing on them. It's a little bit low accessibility, but I think what's more concerning for me is the from price and the product images. I just don't know how much I'm buying. Like I just have no idea if that bag is this small or if it's like a huge protein bag.
You'd want to see like a per serving price, you
Yeah,
think?
I don't know. Even just understanding that there's 3 sizes, like just showing, hey, there's 3 sizes from 1999 or however many options there are. And it looks like there's savings as you scale up in size as well, which isn't really mentioned anywhere on the homepage. That could be a simple, just super slim band above this section even.
This is rotating. Get that out of there. No rotators. No, we don't want sliders in our announcement bar either. It's just distraction. So go
I
make
like the call outs on the product cards. Energy, body and mind. That's cool, especially for this type of product that people that are into kratom. It's
That's
cool.
awesome. Also, this from to me is a little sketchy. I understand you're trying to say it's the lowest price, but just put the price there, right? Like I've never seen on any product tile from a certain number. So like that to me feels a little sketchy. Like as a consumer, I'm like, what is that? Like hurts trust a little bit. So cool. That was a quick rip up for Speciosa. Hopefully that was useful. Q&A. Any questions? We've got three super smart people here and me. Gotta be some good questions.
Dylan, good benchmark for conversion. We get this question a lot. It's like, what should my conversion be at? It's a fun question to answer.
Good,
But
but
give us your spiel.
the best. I'm
Um,
gonna interrupt Dylan if that's okay, because this one
do it.
fires me up. The best benchmark is your conversion rate yesterday. Like all you can do, I think, is try to get better on your current store. My AOV is $330. You can't compare it to the Kratom company that's selling things for 20. Their conversion rate should be much better than mine. So I would benchmark it against your historicals and try to keep improving on it.
I'm about to throw a hand. So Nate just said better, right? There's no such thing as a better or worse conversion rate across brands, right?
Oh
Uh,
shoot.
there's not. So what happened to this whole PRO thing? And there's no CRO thing. So
Well, I mean, the real answer is fuck your conversion rate. It should be your past profit and revenue per session, but
my guy.
We're
So
just speaking the language people want.
yeah,
yeah. I literally put conversion rate on our website because people like want it and I hate it. I split tested it and it goes better. And I'm like, oh.
yeah.
Me. So yeah, that's the main thing. So conversion rate. If you have a $2,000 sofa that you're selling, or those packs of energy things that we were looking at that start at $4, it's apples and oranges. Revenue per session helps, right? That's what you should be looking at. So fuck conversion rate, to be honest. I think Shopify putting conversion rate right at the top of their reports has poisoned the industry and what metrics you should look at. Hot take. I love Shopify. Literally messaged them and told Harley, but it's locked in. People like it. So conversion rate, there's no such thing as good, bad, ugly. There's just worse and better in the day. So conversion rate's never an indicator. So, a couple of things. How do we feel about a scrolling banner on a homepage and or scrolling banner on PDP pages? Do we need them? Should they be moving as a carousel? If we need them, what type of copy performs best in that? A scrolling banner. I'm not sure what banner means.
I
Rose, if
think
you want
I
to pronounce
think
it,
they're
Bob?
just meaning like a really thin band that's like gluten-free, vegan, like it's just showing some key traits in a lot of cases. Um, I'm not 100% against them. I would just never put anything where you're like, they cannot miss that, right? If it's a piece of content where you're like, my user or my potential customer cannot miss that info, it's more of a surprise and delight UX thing than it is a how do I sell products better thing. It's a good breakup for sections and it can be used as a design element, but I wouldn't use it in that context of having it moving as anything more than just surprise and delight.
Cool. I got a question here from a very special person over here. Someone asked, do you handle service businesses differently in regard to websites? Sean, Taylor, do you guys do some service sites too?
We do
a
it.
lot.
Yeah, a ton of different, I mean, we do a lot of housing subdivisions that are trying to get calls booked to view show homes. We do a ton of everything from concrete cleaning companies to, anything like that. The task for us and the approach we take is 99.9% the same. How do we get them to the main call to action or the main conversion point as quickly and as communicatively as possible? So it really isn't a huge difference. Obviously, the pages are different and the content and what we're trying to do is different, but whether it's add to cart or book a call, the approach is the same. Do they have the information they need to click that, and how quickly can I get it to them?
Yeah, remove friction, build trust. Whether it's SaaS, whether it's anything, there's intricacies within, but that's the goal.
Nate, I see a question in here. Zafar asked, running quote sales, should it be always, frequently, infrequently for you as a brand master? How do you view sales?
As a necessary evil of the current e-com landscape. people want to see it, so we do it. I think the frequency depends a lot on what you're selling. You'll only see ad creative with sale messaging in it from us 3 times a year: Valentine's Day, Father's Day, and Christmas. Other than that, across our site and across our ads, we try to do the best job at communicating value as possible. But we sell watches. We need to maintain a certain level of, I don't know, prestige is a really egotistical word to throw on my own brand, but try to maintain some level of, brand and price integrity. But if you're not selling something that's, a luxury fashion accessory, people want to see it. It'll likely increase conversions for you. I would just be really intentional about how you're messaging it and testing that messaging a lot, because I think how you say it can be more impactful than what the actual offer is.
Love it. Okay, cool. Gang, I think we got to clear up before you go. If your site was not audited and you would like that, if you guys want to put that over, you could even CC and we could do a head-to-head audit battle between audit and heat map. I'll put this in here. It'll just be Dylan@heatmap.com. If you guys want us to rip that apart, happy for myself or someone on my team. Sean Taylor, if you guys have a more beautiful link than I do of just giving my email, feel free to drop that in there. I hope this was useful to everyone on the How We Buy series. If you guys want a cool, awesome watch, go check out Original Grain. Nate will maybe privately rip apart your site. After that, everyone, absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming. Sean and Taylor, I miss you guys. We should catch up sometime other than ripping apart sites. Hope all is well. And everyone, stay well, fuck conversion rate, and
Nice ending.
Let's go.
mic drop. Mic drop.
Nice. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
y'all
guys.
for having me.
See
See
you,
y'all.
man.
Appreciate you guys.